Hi guys.
Good morning, wherever you're at.
Welcome to the webinar. So nice to see your faces. 10:01. How's everyone doing? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
right on.
Hey, thank you so much for being here today. I am Amanda,
And my name is Mike.
and we are the co-founders of the voiceover school. We have had the voiceover school for about a year now, and we have been voice actors working from our home studios for over 12 years. So we're here today to support you because wherever you are on your journey, I can guarantee you that we have been there before. We have been at the very beginning with, not knowing how to get started. Oh, do you need a demo? What microphone do you need? Is it a big investment? And all the way to if you're, a working pro and looking to take your career to the next level. We've been there.
We also come from very different backgrounds. Amanda was more of a performer, a stage actor, and went into radio and then went into voiceover. Whereas I had a musical background as a child, but I had no intentions of becoming a voice actor until I met her. So it just kind of over the years, I was exposed to it more and more, and now it is what I do full time, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yes. So thank you again for being here. We are here to answer all your questions and bring you up to speed on any questions you have about getting started in voiceover or the industry itself. And we just have like a little presentation just to give you a background on how we got started and the steps that we took, because when we started, there was literally no roadmap. There was no there is no surefire way of success in the industry. It's everyone has their own journey and their own path. And I actually got an email from a gentleman a couple days ago, and he said, but don't you need a professional demo before you start? And we didn't have a professional demo for probably 7 years before.
We actually went to one of the professional producers. I think it was Chuck Duran with Demos That Rock.
Yeah,
and she finally got her first demo.
My first demo was 7 years after being a full-time professional, that I actually flew down to LA and got a professional demo. So that being said, what we did for the many years leading up to that was we just created our own demos off of the work that we had either booked from online gigs or scripts that we liked that we interpreted and just voiced ourselves and added some music to it and compiled it. So it really...
And we actually, through those self-produced demos, actually, we were able to approach agents and actually land some agents. And so it's all a give and take, and it's all a unique path to each and every one of you, just like it was to us. But what we can offer you today and in the voiceover school is best practices that we've found over 12 years of kind of trial and error, lots of error, many trials,
yes,
but lots of good information that we've come up with.
So in the beginning, I've always been a very performer. I've been a singer. I was always into acting, but you definitely don't have to come from that background in voiceover or to be a voice actor. You can, like Mike worked on the oil rigs and
delivered ice cream for 4 years. It was a wonderful job.
Yes, and I have friends that were like a pharmaceutical rep, and she became a voice actor. So it's not like you have to have a performance background. It does help, or a singer, or some kind of theatrical blood is always good. But
and I've also found that you don't need... One of the first concepts I ever learned was that you need a big fancy voice to be a successful voice actor.
Right.
And honestly, my voice is pretty plain Jane when it comes to a male voiceover, a male voice actor. But honestly, if you learn the tools, if you practice it like an instrument, there's work for every kind of voice.
Absolutely. And something that we're very passionate about and talk a lot about in our school, in our Facebook group, is just the more authentic that you can be, the more that you can tune into yourself. And voice acting is less about acting and more about portraying who you are as a person, because there's a market for everyone. So, you know, the young adult, say female, can portray to her peers. So the young female, like, you know, bioderm or whatever, is talking to the bioderm people, or say like a you know, Subway kind of guy, like
Subway Future Shop kind of guy.
Then you're talking to your peers. So it's all about being relatable. So there's a person and a voice for everyone. And you'll notice when you listen to ads that the person, like the you know, the Pampers or the Huggies, the things, it's like young moms talking to young moms kind of vibe, if you know what I mean. So
do you want to get into the presentation?
Yeah, so let's get started. So we are a family of voice actors, and we have two boys.
Share the screen here.
Okay, we're just going to share the screen.
Got to get this technology.
And feel free to just type in your questions at any time as we're going, and we'll.
I don't know if we can see them while we're screen sharing.
So just so you don't forget them.
We might be able to.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Still working on this. There we go. Okay.
Yes, Zoom. Ever since COVID, everyone's gotten very prolific on Zoom.
Yes,
It's just the way.
Can you guys see? Can you see the presentation, the screen? Okay.
Okay, awesome.
And I can't even. Okay. I guess we're just gonna go with this.
Okay.
Cool. So this is the masterclass, and we will go to the next slide. So more about us. You know, we're a husband and wife couple. We've been married for almost 10 years. Been working almost every single day since we started our careers together, hand in hand. And that's not to say that, you know, this isn't possible as an individual or with a partner that's not also in the industry, but this is part of why we've learned so much in so many different aspects, having the female voice, the male voice. And as you can see from the pictures, our sons, we have two sons named Beck and Trace, who have been voice acting since the age of 2. They got their first professional job and have since done movie work, on camera work, commercials, Netflix cartoon series, many projects like that. And that just creates the whole family business aspect. And our dog, he actually has a demo on our website, which is kind of fun.
We made our dog a demo of him like barking and howling and put it on our website. But yeah, so we, like I said, I started as a musician and went into radio DJ. And as a radio DJ, I loved doing the pre-production things that you'd have to do. If you listen to your local radio station, you might notice them, the local DJs doing commercial work. So that was how I first got into it and discovered it and became really passionate about it. So then at that point, I discovered there was such thing as online casting, where, you know, you can find jobs online.
Which at the time was relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there wasn't I think some of the major sites have only been around since 08, 09.
Yeah.
Like it's still a pretty young industry, the whole online aspect of things. And luckily we got in and decided to commit to this direction.
Yeah, we just, you know, working from home was everything to me. I didn't enjoy being, you know, at an office, and radio DJ wasn't really for me.
And for me, working on the oil rigs, I'd be gone anywhere from 2 to 12 weeks at a time. So when we started having kids, you know, I was very, very grateful that I was able to be home for those moments and to be able to create the life we have through this really fun career.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, voiceovers it's everywhere. So some people automatically, when I tell people I'm a voice actor, they think, oh, animation, what cartoon are you in? Are you in like a Disney movie? You know, people often just think like animation, video games, but voiceovers are everywhere. It's ridiculous the kind of actual voiceover work that we do. So Mike, what are some of the things that we do, or where we hear voices?
So we hear radio commercials, you hear TV commercials, you'll hear so many companies, especially now with COVID, all the training manuals, the animated training material that we have to go through. We voice stuff for that, internal health benefits videos, even little equipment, like say for example, like Siri. Siri was a voice actor.
Susan Bennett.
Yeah. What are some other ones?
Sorry.
Need some water. Some other ones. Amanda's actually a voice for a handheld scanner, I believe I think it's Costco. So they told us, they actually responded to us and said that they actually call the scanner Amanda, and they'll get mad at Amanda when the battery runs out. So it's kind of a funny story. And toys, kids' toys. That's another really big one. We have a friend named Lisa Biggs who she does all the for real pets that are in the stores. She does all the little animal sounds, and she literally has the voice of a 10-year-old boy, and she's, you know, an adult female. And so it's really interesting. There's a project for every voice, and it seems with the stats over the years that this industry continues to expand, especially commercial is going more towards a non-union aspect, and more e-learning is occurring that's accessible, so that the volume is there, the income generation possibility is there. And yeah, she just got something caught in her
Sorry
throat.
guys. Also wanted to say speech to text.
Speech to text is also a very big thing nowadays, where we've worked with companies like Microsoft where they'll get you to do the same line in three different emotions, and then they will later on piece it together and have it as a real-time response. And
ads on social media between Instagram stories, that's a big one too. A lot of like 5 to 15 second commercial spots. And then, you know, then there is all the animation and the kids apps. I do many kids apps. Educational apps for kids
are
endless. It's because you're always learning. They're always adding. They're always expanding. So voiceovers are everywhere. Get in an elevator, going up, going down. Actually, our friend Amy Breedlove is coming to our VoiceOver School Facebook group tomorrow to do a coaching call, free coaching call
for the students.
And she is the voice of the Target checkout. So if you go to Target,
self-checkout,
and that's Amy's voice when you're checking out. And she's, "Hi, welcome to Target. And do you need a receipt?" I don't know what she says, but
how many bags did you pick?
Right. So as we're, you know, jumping in here, I think it's always a good idea to have a listen to your voice. And obviously, if you pursue voiceovers, you're going to have to hear your voice a lot. And
that was one interesting step into the voiceover world, was hearing my own voice. And that took a little while to get used to, but just like everyone, because you're hearing it through your own internal ears, but when you start to hear it through the headphones, you know, you can then learn to manipulate your voice a little more, or just accent different words different ways and play with it a little more like that.
And you also discover where you fit in, so where your voice you know, is ideal. There are a lot of voice actors who can do a lot of different characters, and animation is just a natural fit for them. I don't have a bunch of different voices that I can pull out. In an animation, I am a good mom, I'm a good narrator, I can do like a little bit of a younger adult sound, but it's not my forte to be you know, a Bart Simpson or you know.
For me, it's like you hear those big Pat LaFontaine, Don LaFontaine, sorry,
the movie trailer
the big
voices,
booming voice guys that I'm like, oh, I wish I had a voice like that. That is never a voice print I'm ever going to have. The one that I have is more of a millennial guy next door, you know, relatable guy, and that's, you know, that's amazing that the big booming voice guy can't do what I do.
Yeah,
know?
And vice versa.
So there's always a place. And for me, my dream is actually to be like a Disney prince, to be on a Disney movie prince. And
that would be awesome.
We're still like every day working towards potentially making that
so I invite you to just start to think about where you see your voice and where you would fit in as a voice actor. So
that is one big thing when people first learn about the industry, is oftentimes it comes with a, wow, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do audiobooks, or I wish I could do a movie or cartoon. And so that's something really cool to kind of, you know, guide, because there are so many genres that you can lead with, that you can enter with. And that comes to this, following your own path.
Absolutely. So even something like video games, say somebody wanted to be in video games and they play a lot of the mainstream ones. There are so many video games from companies in Russia and overseas that you might not hear of, but that are huge companies that end up giving you a lot of work because they're always updating characters, or those video games have been around for a long time. And now I'm in Skyforge. It's not very popular it's not very popular game. I think
I think it's fairly, but like, I
yeah,
think it's a known game,
but it's just like, it's recurring, right? Because then she has different adventures, or this person died but they're bringing her back or whatever. So you never know. But we're very passionate about following your own path and not, oh, like, how do I want to
I wanted to step back into genre a little bit
okay,
while you gather your thoughts on that
okay,
one. But because I wanted to be the big commercial guy on TV, you know, get that public notoriety. But then what happened is that I found e-learning right off the bat,
mm-hmm.
and that while it's not as, you know,
Glamorous.
sexy or glamorous as you know, public TV work, it was incredible bread and butter work where I was getting really good at it, finding the pocket, and the volume of work that came over years and years is what allowed me to stop doing my regular job and to really commit to, you know, putting even more time into my voice and my career.
Right. So everyone has their own journey on this. So, and something that you think might go this way, or that you have to have a professional demo before you start, or you have to have an agent before you can ever make any money, or, you know, whatever. There are no rules.
Can I say one story?
Yeah.
Because that's not to say that there's, you know, expect negative coaches out there, but what we've noticed over the years is that sometimes people will take a more stringent perspective. For example, Amanda had been professionally working, generating income as a voice actor, I believe full-time, for several years, and began training with a coach. And at the end of the session, I think it was the first session or a couple sessions in.
Yeah, I paid like $400 for 4 sessions with this particular coach.
And it basically came up to, you're doing great, you're not demo ready, but keep working on it. You know,
yeah.
she wanted, it was almost like she wanted to keep her in a perpetual learning mode.
Yes.
And like, almost like, you know, you're not ready yet, but I'll tell you when you're ready.
Yeah. And
you know?
no one's going to tell you when you're ready. And had I listened to her, I wouldn't be where I am today. Had I thought, wow, I guess I'm not demo ready, I shouldn't pursue this, I had already been working. So that's why we're really particular and passionate about following your own journey, and just knowing that there is no one way. And if someone tells you something negative, that, you know, you can find a way around it. So
what we learned is that not the only aspect of the career is not just having a great voice and a great performance, but you also, if you plan to do this from home, which is what we did for the last 12 years, is that eventually you will have to wear multiple hats to get things going. And that is until, you know, you're either able to delegate some work or become really proficient at it. But there are many things that we still do to this day, every day, that it's just part of the voiceover business. You have to be a good voice actor, you have to be competitive, but then you have to go ahead and, you know, run a business.
Yeah. So when we started, we had, we started in our closet. So we bought a microphone on credit and a laptop
for $250 or $300.
And we had no game plan. We had no business skills. We had nothing like organized or anything. So
we were not entrepreneurs at the time.
Not at all. So we would go in our closet and have the clothes surrounding us for, you know, sound absorption. And I just started auditioning, and I would audition for anything that came in, and would always just be putting myself out there, listening to all the voiceover bits that I could from different podcasts, or just all the information that I could possibly get.
I think you went from teen to like senior female. Like, you tried everything.
Yes.
Everything that came in, that even if it was like, you know, remotely similar to your voice, you would try.
I would just go for it. And so then when I started booking work, you know, say being in accounting or bookkeeping, Mike and I just had a big whiteboard, and we would write down the job and how much it was, and really just learned the hard way
that if something got accidentally wiped off,
then we wouldn't get paid
just
for
didn't
it.
get paid for it.
So it's just to let you know that, like, eventually you will wear all the hats, and then you start delegating, but like, it's so possible.
And there are different avenues as well. If you primarily want to do union in studio work, where you don't have to be as much of the entrepreneur aspect.
Yes.
But it seems like there's a balance between, union work, non-union work, and it's always in flux. So it's up to you what you feel,
Yeah.
kind of where you want to go.
Even if you just do the agent route, you still have to have a home studio. Like even if you have a local agent, if you're say in LA, New York, Vancouver, Chicago, I mean, there's so many agents everywhere nowadays, but even if you have a local agent, you still have to have a home studio, which
we talk about. It's one of my experts, because I grew up as a musician and I was always recording audio, which was beneficial for us. But honestly, even when we started, like these are beautifully padded rooms, which we didn't have.
Dream studios.
We didn't have an isolation booth for at least, I think, 7 or 8 years. So we made it work on our own way. And in fact, like I was in metal and punk bands to begin with. So I would oftentimes over compress and like just really make that voice sharp, which I later found out was a little too much. Like less is more in the voice acting industry. So we've learned so much over the years. This is some of the equipment we use on here in the program. We teach using Audacity. There will also be some training on Pro Tools and stuff. But honestly, for the purposes of recording voiceover to be competitive, like I said, to this day, we still use Audacity.
It's a free download on the internet. So.
Free program, and it's really great, and really user friendly.
And the editing thing, if I can do it, you can do it. Editing audio, it's really just taking out breaths in some of your auditions and stuff like that. Sometimes they'll want a raw file that you don't touch. So,
and in fact, the tech side of things is one of the largest reasons I've found over the years that is holding people back, because they, so many people, everyone has a voice, everyone has the capacity to perform their voice beautifully, but it's the aspect of creating a sound treated environment that's competitive enough that you're not going to hear the room fan or the cars outside, or
your fridge.
The funny story about that, which we could go back to at some point if you want.
Well, I'll just say it really quick. Like we would unplug the fridge in one of our old apartments to stop the sound, and then we forgot to plug it back in and like lost all our food.
Part of the learning curve, right?
Yes, exactly.
But so again, a lot of the many ways that are holding people back, sometimes simple questions just become a roadblock because they either don't feel they have guidance they can trust, or they're just, not able to find, good sources of information. But some of the reasons are like just not knowing how to get started, knowing if you need a demo on a website, what mic should you get, not knowing how to edit. That's a huge one. Not knowing how to treat the space. Do you need an agent? Where do you find jobs? And can I quit my other job right now? And I think it took a while for us to do that.
Yeah.
It was 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. Mm-hmm. So
I quit and started probably, I think 3 times. I went back and forth from the oil rigs and then actually found a local job.
Yeah. So just when we thought we were in the clear and it was full time and, the business was, it just took a little bit to get going, and we didn't come from entrepreneurial backgrounds or anything, but that was our story, and everyone's journey is different now with the information out there. If I would have had something like this to fall onto, it could have been a lot quicker.
Because what we cover is a fully comprehensive aspect of exactly what we did to get in, everything that we know about what we did to get in.
Yes. So this is our testimonial page, a few of the testimonies that we've got from our voiceover school. And I'm really excited to answer any questions that you guys have at the end about voiceover, any aspect of the industry. But we just wanted to share that we do have the voiceover school, which is $197, I believe, which is an incredible price for the value. We have 4 weeks of modules, just covering everything that you need to know about the voiceover industry, everything from, how to get started, performance, finding your voice, the editing, how to get an agent, demos, all of that.
Script interpretation, which is a large one.
And one of the biggest value added things that we have is our Facebook group, which is an interactive group. I think we have about 100 students in there now, and it's
over 100.
really supportive, and we do monthly live coaching calls. Like I said, tomorrow we have Amy Breedlove, who is the voice of the Target checkout, coming in for free to our students to give a free coaching call. We'll pull up some scripts and just like guide them through some performance aspects and just how to get stronger reads, you know, breaking down scripts when you're auditioning, how to catch the producer's eye, or ear, not eye.
And
but
other things, if we don't have an expert come in, we'll just run the monthly Zooms, and what we've been doing recently has been demo reviews or audio reviews in a group setting. We'll do live reads with feedback. We'll just do Q&A questions because there's always people joining the school, and they're at different areas of the course and have different questions at different times. But what we found is that the Facebook group is really interactive, where before, you know, Amanda and I are regularly in there, but oftentimes before we're even in there, there's already, you know, a handful of students that have already responded, given feedback, shown support. There are groups out there that are not supportive of new up and coming voice actors, but we've created, luckily, what's been created is a very supportive group that, you know, not everyone's a pro, that this career might not be for everyone, but there's always something you can learn from the support, from putting yourself out there and committing to learning something that can always awaken a new capacity within you.
Absolutely.
You know, even if it's not voiceover, it ends up being something else, but there's a huge opportunity in voiceover.
Yes. So normally, like a coaching, like I said, I did a lot of coaching in my earlier years, and I'm still always learning, but most VO coaches, the good ones, are about $125 per hour for one coaching call. So that's why our school is so special. We have, you know, the 4 weeks of modules plus, you know, the lifetime access, and then our group as well.
We caveat the lifetime access because, you know, barring any unforeseen, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
World implosions.
Yes. So we are offering this to you today. We're going to do, what are we doing here, Mike?
What are we doing? Just for today, for 48 hours, we're offering an additional 10, I think it's like 11% off, $20 off the price for 177 using the code VOAUG26.
Cool.
And I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to check out. There's more information. There's more feedback, or testimonials, because like I said, we have over 100 students, and there's been many students that have already shown massive success to the point where they have been able to leave their jobs or nicely supplement their current jobs, or, you know, just some people are slowly working through it and not attempting. But we're always here to support you at whatever stage you are, and give you that little push, because you don't know unless you try.
Absolutely. If I hadn't have tried, you know, 12 years ago, I had absolutely zero idea what I was doing or where it would go. But I'm so grateful that I did take the leap and pursue it, because it's, you know, it's been an amazing journey, and it's led us to so many different things. I'm now a meditation teacher, which I never would have dreamed of, but it was just, you find different ways to use your voice. So using my voice, I found that. So now we want to turn it on to you lovely people that are on our screens right now, because you're giving us your time, and your time is valuable, and we really appreciate having you here.
So we are open books. If you guys have any questions about any aspects of getting started,
absolutely,
any career type message.
So any questions that you might have. Wait, Sean.
Sean.
Okay. Who's Sean? Where's Sean?
Sean, there he is.
Oh, hey,
is that
awesome.
Jurassic Park t-shirt?
Awesome. Cool. Okay.
All right.
Do you need a business license? Okay, you know the tax part.
Okay, so business license for taxes. We don't, this might be different for every jurisdiction, but for us, we didn't need a business license. We did have to incorporate. At one point, we were a proprietorship, obviously a partnership, but we did have to register the business, but not necessarily having a business license because we're working from home and what we do. But let's continue on through this list.
Besides voiceover work for TV, radio, commercials, anime, cartoons, and audiobooks, what other types are there? So yes, there's voicing for cartoons, there's speech to text, video games, so much e-learning, so much of what we do is never heard by the public. We work for a company out of San Francisco that does what are they?
It's the University of,
Insurance videos.
oh, insurance
Like
videos.
the
Health insurance?
yeah, the health
Oh,
insurance, like the
yeah,
benefits.
medical benefits.
So we teach medical benefits for companies like Walmart,
Forgot what we
Facebook,
do.
LinkedIn. And so it's just explaining the health benefits to these companies. So if you work there, you know, just random.
More with e-learning. Like I voice a math course. So every couple of weeks, I'll get a new chunk of audio for math course that's online. Training videos for Costco. You know, all the internal. We explain how an appliance works, so that the sales associates can assist the customers. You know, there's so much stuff. We teach people at Burger King how to make burgers, and now how to wash their hands in the 16
steps,
16-step process.
So standard rates. So there are different rate guides out there. GVAA.
That's a webinar in itself.
Yeah. So, oh wow, yeah. Rates are something that we've just developed over the years. You start to work with your clients, and then you can raise your rates over the years, or you kind of work and be flexible. But there's also a standard. There's GVAA.com, which has rates that's a standard guide.
Even voices.com has, which is an online. We didn't really talk about P2P sites at all. It's an online site that it shows kind of what the standard rates are for narration for commercials and usage and stuff like that. But every company, every situation will be different. So it comes to knowing your value. It comes down to knowing what's appropriate. It also comes down to, you know, when there's opportunities to learn, even if it is a lower budget project, because there are lower budget clients out there. You know, you're not every single job is going to be a home run 5-figure commercial campaign. You know, e-learning can range from 10 cents to $1 per word. You know, it's finding, it's just kind of rolling with it.
Yeah. And, you know, if it is something that's going to be broadcast, you know, across the country, the nation, the world, there's usage rights and whatnot, but we're non-union voice actors. So we have more flexibility in our rates, but it served us very well over the years to work like this.
Personally, I would not say, Sean, that it's harder for women or men. What would you say?
Is it harder for a woman or man? My wife wants to do this. Oh, bring her on. Like, yeah.
I think everyone has an opportunity.
Absolutely. It's both.
As far as workload, like I have just as many opportunities to audition as she does.
Yeah.
I find.
I've never noticed an influx more of male or female.
You need to know a lot of technical things. Yes. There's very basics that you can learn. How to plug in a mic, how to record on the computer, and then edit quickly. We cover all that in the school. And then, of course, I even go into how to build a pillow fort, because over the years we've had to, while traveling
at hotels,
you know, voicing anywhere possible. I've done live voice sessions in a car sitting in a McDonald's driveway.
McDonald's parking lot,
because
and there's
it had
like people
Wi-Fi.
walking around
There's
the car.
literally people like looking inside the window, like, what is this guy doing?
Oh my goodness.
And I'm on the phone with like 5-6 people. You know,
I remember that because me and the kids were in McDonald's playing in the play place, like trying to keep my kids busy while
and it was hot.
Yeah,
and I had to close the windows.
Palm Springs.
So that was tough. Demo reels for beginners. So right off the bat, if you want to get a leg up in demos, I would suggest keeping all your auditions and your work and just listening to those, playing with those. Oftentimes some of the sites that you audition for will say whether or not, I know on Voice 123 they will discuss, they'll say, yes, you can use this for your own promotional purposes. And then you can begin to compile them and put them together and add music. And make it sound like a demo. I
remember when we first started, I wanted to show like the more mature kind of side of my voice. So I wrote my own commercial that related to that side. So you can write your own, you can write what you think is good. It's kind of fun when people write their own demos. We have a girl in our school named Tara who is so creative, and she's so good at doing different voices and funny, and she just comes up with her own characters, her own scripts. So, and you can make it fun, because when you're working with producers and end users, people that are going to be hearing this, you want to give them something. You want them to feel something on the other side, some energy, some spark, something that stands out. So
and also your go-to money
Your
voice, if
money
you will.
voice.
That's what you got to start with.
Yes, out of the gate.
And we've talked more extensively about demos within the group, but a commercial demo should only be commercials, not, don't throw in animation or character work, like keep your demo specific. And we do go into that in more detail, I believe, in the course and in our webinars.
And the good thing about starting with a demo that isn't super expensive out of the gate is you get to mold your voice and see where you're going with it and what your money voice is before you spend a bunch of money.
That's taken me years to develop. Really, and just finding the comfort within myself, and that has a lot to do with just self-confidence. So the process of learning your voice is also the process of learning yourself, which is a very spiritual journey, if you will, too. So it's all been really cool. Suggested DAW recording program. Currently we track in Pro Tools just for the plugin capabilities and the different plugin opportunities. But we still do our editing, our cleaning, and our basic editing in Audacity, just because it's very much what you see is what you get. It's very visual. You can tell if stuff's clipped, or when there's breaths, you can visually see much easier, I find, than in Pro Tools. I know there's Pro Tools masters out there that swear by it, but this is kind of the direction we.
And some people swear by Adobe Audition or Twisted Wave or
Reaper.
All of them are
whatever works
doable
for you, but this is what we chose to kind of go with. Time management. Oh my gosh, how important! It is the most important, especially having time management. Once you're into the career aspect, once you found your voice, you found your sound, then as a business, as an entrepreneur, time management's important, because working from home, you can get caught up, the garage needs to get swept today, or, especially with schools being shut down since March. Yeah. We've had the kids at home. Yeah. So we have the two boys, and they're not always the quietest kids in the world. Two. Yeah, two. So sometimes you have to time that, or, have someone who can either come in and assist, or if you have a partner that can take them out, or it's just like starting any business. So it's like what you put in, you'll get out. And, what would you recommend to keep your time organized? Yeah. We use multiple platforms. We use large wall calendars. We use our phones. Sometimes we use just calendar, like paper calendars, small ones. Day planners, if you will. And a lot of people do like the client management programs and stuff like that. So yeah, we track all that stuff in QuickBooks, so all of our jobs, our customers, all that stuff is lined up. So what do you do prior to the audition to help avoid mouth noise? That is an amazing question. And it's so interesting because you can go long-term and short-term with this. Yeah, because pop filter, yes, that is a great addition. I always find when I'm more stressed out, I have more mouth noises. So eliminating things like dairy and coffee, and just trying to have more clean eating will help your mouth noises be less. Or drinking more water. The apples, people use mouth spray, like. Yeah. But honestly, there are programs like RX7 that you can treat your audio with afterwards that will take out the clicks. But it's something that you just have to like trial and error. I've tried everything. You have to learn your body a lot, because before I started voice acting, I would produce her. So I would notice like, oh, you're getting really ticky. Did I piss you off, or what's going on? Like, why are you stressed? But and sometimes it'll come, sometimes it'll go. I find the most helpful thing in session, if there are no other options, you're live, you're recording it now, is just having little sips of water. Because I find big swigs, you're going to start getting mouth or stomach noises, like gurgling and stuff like that too. Yeah. And then I find like the more water, it's like the quicker it dries out. I don't know, but just little sips, little swallows throughout the session, I find really keeps the mouth noise down. And that is, we hear it because that's what we do for a living. And oftentimes you will hear it in radio commercials where there's mouth noises. They just leave it in. Some people just don't care. Yeah, a lot of people don't notice them. It's like we are our own worst critic, and we really can hear them. I'm very picky when it comes to audio, and that's probably to a downfall, but it is beneficial to create that high quality audio file.
So Courtney is, okay, nervous about live directed sessions, and you actively avoid auditions that require them. When I get nervous, my mouth goes dry. Do you have any advice to help overcome these nerves? I do have advice, and my advice,
I'll tell you a story after too, your advice,
is you just have to rip off the Band-Aid, and you have to do it. You have to just put yourself in those situations. That is something that all of us as voice actors have to do. And I've actually really enjoyed seeing our students go into their first live directed session, and they'll be texting me and like, okay, what do I do, what do I say, what if I blah, blah. It's just like, you have to feel the feelings and go through that experience to get on the other end. And then when you're on the other end, you're like,
you'll be on a high.
Yes.
Afterwards.
And then the next one gets easier, and the next one gets easier. If they hired you, I guarantee you they're not worried about your mouth noises. They hired you because they love your voice and they know that you're a good fit. So you just go in and you give yourself a pep talk, and you just show them what you got, and don't worry about the mouth noises. I've been in national commercials, with
13 people
with
on the
so
call.
many people listening, and I have a click in every single word. And it's not fun, but it's just part of it. Don't let it stop you, because you're going to miss opportunities that could really open up your career.
I'm going to tell you about my first live directed experience. This was before I was technically a full-time voice actor. This was like a one-off project where I went in, and there was 2 or 3 guys that were, I think they were kind of having fun with me. I was actually having trouble breathing because I was so nervous, where I couldn't do more than 2 or 3 words before having to take another breath because I was so nervous. And literally at one point I had to bend over and catch my breath. And it was just one of those things where it was catastrophic for me and my ego. But honestly, going through that, life became so much easier. I went home to my studio, and it was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then you go into the next situation, you're like, I've been here before. Let's prepare for it a little differently, or, maintain a better awareness and presence in the next session. And just get them under your belt.
Yeah.
Just do them. Even if it's absolutely horrific the first time and you end up crying on your first session, that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. So you got this, girl.
You won't cry. Don't worry.
Soundproofing blankets. Yeah, they do work. Definitely.
There's some different ones, different thicknesses, but honestly, even a series of towels and clothing and bedding, whatever the case may be. What we were using for a while, it was like vocal booth to go, I think, and they were like thick, heavy moving blankets with grommets, so you could literally hang them in a square if you wanted to.
Right.
They work amazing. You can't always 100% soundproof your area, but you can at least create an environment where the sound doesn't bounce. Yeah, and that you can deal with some of the soundproofing and timing and stuff later.
So resources for mic technique. We do talk about some of it in the school, but just like this is the standard, like where to stay away from, like that's the standard distance from the mic.
I'd say, Sean had a pop filter, but you can also, just kind of speak just off access to the microphone so that you're not directly sending your plosives into the microphone.
Where's Nick?
Is that Nick?
Hey!
Dab.
Oh, awesome. So happy to have you, Nick. Does coming from a small town minimize your chances? No,
Not
it
at all.
doesn't.
I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan.
I'm from Saskatoon, born and raised. We lived in Saskatoon for a number of years while we were doing our career, and it doesn't. The only thing it limits you from is if you were
focusing on in studio.
Yeah, like in studio stuff, like some of the bigger animation stuff is recorded locally in Vancouver or LA, or so you have to be there in person. But
oftentimes you can audition from your home studio, so it's good to have that capacity. And then you go in person. You probably have to fly to Vancouver.
We did that when we were living in Saskatoon. Beck was up for Chip and Potato, which is a show on Netflix, and we made the investment to fly to Vancouver.
I think we went on two or three.
He kept getting callbacks, and we kept having to fly, but he ended up getting it, so it was worth it. But yeah, no, it doesn't. The Glow Girls, Glow Girls KidVoiceover.com. You should check them out. They are local in Florida, and they work from their home studio, and they're in everything. Like they work for Disney and Nickelodeon and everything. So
Elizabeth, we started our careers on a laptop. We still use a laptop in the hotels. Your studio's not ready, that's okay. As long as you can have some sort of sound treatment so that it's not super bouncy. Like right now, we're on a bare wall room, so things are pretty bouncy. If you can put a little bit of effort into reducing that bounce, and
a closet is
quietest,
great.
the quietest room in your house, or
Yeah.
quietest closet, you can absolutely get started right now.
Nick, speaking French is an asset, absolutely, because a lot of times a client will say that they want it in English and French, and if you can do both, you got the job. It's because it's cheaper for them, right? If you can hiring
and more convenient.
Yeah, exactly. Hiring both. It takes more time, casting, more budget for them. If you can do both, absolutely. And
Nick, I did not need an agent for the first 5 years of my career. I started acquiring some of her clients, and through self-auditioning on my own, I was able to acquire more and more. And actually, I had applied for an agent that I really wanted to get, that she was also on. They didn't get back to me for a year. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? But then I kept touching base with them. They're like, oh yeah, we'll get back to you. And then finally, some agents, they're not hiring at this time. They're not taking on new talent. But at the time I finally got on, I was happy, and I'm still with them to this day. So agents are not necessary to get started, but they can be gatekeepers to different kinds of projects.
Yes. Do you want to pop in the link to the VO School just so we don't forget? And we're going to keep going
already
through. Oh, you did?
I'll
Okay.
do it again.
We're going to go through every single question here. So I'm just so grateful for all of these amazing questions.
Yeah, these are awesome.
You guys are smart. How much leeway do you have for when you record, for example, a night owl or a morning person?
So good. Can I say something really quick?
Sure.
When we first started, we were morning owls? No, morning people. Night owl. Sorry, don't spit out your coffee on my equipment. Early bird.
Sorry, guys.
we would jump on the auditions because East Coast has an advantage, right? When it's 6 o'clock here on the West Coast, it's already 9. So they're up, their voices are warm, and they're ready to start submitting auditions. So we would get up right off the bat, and we would start working hard. At the time when we first started, we didn't have kids. So if something came in at night, we would work at night. We just went for it.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
it's what you can do nowadays. It's where you sit, where you wake up, where you are when you're ready is what it will be the perfect time, because you can't force it. Voice acting is, sometimes you have to force it because you have to get an audition in time, but it's like the more in the zone and the more you're feeling good, the more success you will have. So
well, voice preservation, there's lots of different techniques, lots of different practices. Even as far as how you cough, if you, rather than doing good old hacking coughs and just try to or clearing your throat, rather than really trying to work something up, just kind of try to keep it gentle with your vocal cords, making sure you're warming them up before you use them, in a professional manner. If you're singing or something, warm them up first. One of the best warm-ups that you can do is lip trills, which is just literally, and you can do scales. You go and it just gets everything warmed up. And then of course, lemon water is great to, if I ever get a sore throat, lemon, ginger, honey, and cayenne is one of my go-to drinks. A hot tea feels really good.
And one thing, since we started, sorry to interrupt you, as voice actors, I can't go in a nightclub anymore, or really loud restaurants. We'll actually look around and see where the speaker of the music is and ask to be placed somewhere else, because you don't want to be over talking, because you just have to,
tired.
Yeah. So can you talk about the program you offer? I see that there are 4 modules with over 20 instructional videos. Is there any online class time? Do you offer services to help us line up auditions? Great question, Shelley.
Lots of good ones.
Our school is 4 modules. You can take at your own pace with, yes, a bunch of different videos that cover everything from, performance to your studio,
to the
where to get
auditions,
the business aspect. Online class time, we do 1 monthly Zoom call with our students live every month. So we will get on a call and see where you need support. But we do have a Facebook group that's very interactive. Almost on a daily basis, other students are uploading their demos, their work, things that they're working on, and we're all kind of helping each other.
The modules have activities associated with them, so then you complete the project or the activity, and then you can post it in the group for feedback and interaction and whatnot from us and from the students.
Which is a great start too to getting over worrying about what other people are thinking,
fear of judgment.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of a step, but learning how to take rejection or
criticism
criticism.
or yeah, because I
Part
mean
part of the
that's
game.
I mean auditions. What is it? A 4% book rate? Is that what the
4 to 8.
So if you think about that, like you have to for every 100 auditions you'll get 8, but then those 8 will be like thousands of dollars or whatever the thing is. But so
It's all variable.
all variable. Audition. Do we offer services to help line up auditions?
Not specifically. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm excited about this because when we do have clients that come in and they need a specific voice, and I know that someone in our school has that voice, then
or French speaking capabilities.
Absolutely. So we do give auditions when we can. I don't actively like seek auditions because we're so busy, but things that have happened where I was too busy to do a job that was,
It was a
like
4-figure project, I think.
Yeah, it was a couple $1,000s for a project and I just didn't have time to do it and they needed it over the weekend. And so I asked one of the VO school students who I thought would be a good fit, and she ended up getting the job. And I've done that a number of times. Or where we need a lot of characters, we have jobs where they'll need a bunch of different voices. And then, so we're actively trying to.
Or kids, if you guys have any kids associated with you, and then have the capability of having a pro studio where you can bring in cousins, relatives, friends.
Yeah, Nick, how old are you? Yeah. You can just like 10, 12, 13. Oh yeah. So you would definitely be someone that
always work for 13-year-olds.
Yeah, we would get involved for sure.
Helping you find jobs. We do discuss using online platforms. We do discuss individual self-marketing. We do discuss the whole business aspect of gathering and maintaining relationships with your clients, as well as going after the agencies and dealing with that.
Yeah,
we do.
Something I'm most passionate about, the people in our group that I end up working with or giving jobs to are the ones that I can see are very invested in their careers, the ones that are working on it, the ones that are doing demos. Those are the ones that are showing up in the Facebook group and I'm seeing. So it's like I have this awareness of, oh yeah, I'm going to go ask her to do it because I know she's going to be available. So that goes to say with your whole career, the more that you put in, the more you're going to get out. You can get jobs from anywhere. You can get jobs from, going to the store and talking to somebody. So yes, there are online casting sites that we do discuss in the school. There are agents. There are production houses that you can pitch.
All across North America.
But there's so many ways to get jobs. Like, for example, I started doing meditations because it was fun and it was calling me. People were responding to them. There was a meditation company that ended up, I booked a job for over $5,000 doing meditations for their platform. So it's like, you never know where the seeds are going to be planted. My cousin has her dad owns a restaurant in Winnipeg. So she's like the voice of the videos for the commercials, or you can do a phone system for someone. There's different ways to find work. So it's kind of being like your own boss, your own cheerleader to do this.
Elizabeth, very cool that you're bilingual in Spanish. There's lots of Spanish English work, and if you can oftentimes like couple the two, like if you can do both, that's incredible work. How beneficial is acting training to VO work? It's amazing. It's incredible. One of the best practices I ever did is I took improv, and it helps you get over that fear of making a fool of yourself, or fear of making a choice, committing to it, and seeing how it sounds. It's just like getting over the fear of self-judgment.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me in my career, that's been the biggest thing in my way is myself. So acting training is amazing because it puts you out there. It makes you have to be vulnerable, make a choice, be seen. So it's incredible. It's incredible.
And it also helps with having variation in your reads. So the more improv and acting and, different ways that you can put on voices and stuff. So say they want it slower or faster or more energy, less energy, you can navigate that. Any acting helps.
So MJ, getting the kids involved. Hi, thank you so much for being here. It started just with opportunities. Our youngest happened to learn his alphabet very quick, or our eldest learned his alphabet very quickly. By the age of 18 months, he could kind of point letters out. And then he would parrot very quickly. So if I said, hi, he would say, hi, but in an adorable 2-year-old voice. So he was able to, we were exposed to audition opportunities, and it showed up as, a 2-year-old for this children's hospital. It was like, cool, let's see what he can do. And it worked out. The younger one he's less apt to get involved. He does it for fun. Sometimes when he gets into it, he doesn't take it seriously, and that's fine. We're not pressuring him to get involved, but just if you are going to expose your kids to it, make sure it's just a fun environment, supporting their creativity, even if they're unfocused. Just be okay with that, because they're not adults, doing a job. They're kids being creative, and if they love it, cool. If they don't, our eldest has kind of had back and forth love with it. He started by doing everything that came along, and then all of a sudden he didn't want to, and he had some live directed sessions that went a little awkwardly. But
Yes.
but then now it seems like he's back into it, where he understands the process a little more. He knows what to say, and he can tap into his performance voice at any moment. That's what, like, kids are, even at the age of 13, you're so mumuch closer to that playful child energy that is just unbelievably creative. So yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, we love it. Like, we are advocates for it. And another good reference is the Glow Girls kid voiceover. Susan Glow, her 2 daughters are in voice acting, and she's been such a great reference for me over the years too, in helping me. I mean, she has just put her, as far as like getting work for kids. We have a download that we can give you, that she gave to our students, because she came in and did a 1-hour coaching call with our students a couple months ago. So we can give you that. The download where it was just like all her references of where she gets work for kids and whatnot. So if you join, we will definitely make sure that you have that.
In there.
But and then as you go, like, kids are young. They have lots of time. So what we learned with Beck and is to not overdo it, like, because it's so exciting when your kid has an amazing voice and you have opportunities. You're just like, okay, let's do this. So it's just being easy and mindful that maybe
where they're at.
Yeah, maybe they don't feel like doing it today. So it's like, okay, don't do this. Like,
and most producers understand that.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the professional industry, like acting, voice acting, they get that kids under the age of 10, can have their emotional, things come up.
And they don't hide it, right? Like, we're like, okay, no, I'm good, let's do this. But kids are like, I don't want to do this right now. So it's just being mindful of where they're at. Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Shelly. Shelly's leaving. All right. We will wrap this up.
Post the link one more time if you guys want more information. This goes directly to the link to the offer page. So let me just send you the actual website where there's more information about the modules, about more testimonials if you want to hear feedback.
And if there's any other questions, just know we're here. Nick, how did you hear about us? Because was it someone from Saskatoon? Yeah.
I don't think that's
it was someone from Saskatoon, like we know the same person. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
We were just there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we were just in Saskatoon. So nice to meet you all. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email us. It was an honor to be here with you and have this time with you guys, and hope to see you in the voiceover school. We do have Amy Breedlove coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST, same time, to teach. So that would be a great way to jump in. Thanks, Elizabeth, for the kind words.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you guys have some exciting careers ahead of you in voiceover.
Yay!
So keep in touch.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.